Thank you for watching our video. This show is sponsored by DreamStream. DreamStream is a unique platform where creators can monetize their video content. All creators rely on support from people like you. Join us on the DreamStream platform to support your favorite creator and view the episode without any adverts. Follow the link in the description for a how-to guide. DreamStream, a place where you can create yourself.
Welcome to another episode of The Real Queer Talk with myself, Tolo Mutaung, and it is promising to be an exciting one because I've got a very creative guest with me in studio. It is Kgomotso Seboko. Kgomotso is a creative entrepreneur, radio personality, award-winning supermodel, scout and model coach, also a fashion show producer and a choreographer. Kgomotso has been in the field for quite some years, very experienced, very professional, very creative, I must say. And that's why I'm so excited to have Kgomotso in studio. Kgomotso, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. This is so exciting.
I know, hey?
Like, I've always wanted to have these conversations with you.
Yeah.
And also the environment being so calm, because it
Aha.
allows you to then speak directly from your heart. Yeah.
Because we're always in spaces where there's so much happening,
Exactly.
and it's this and that. It's like a minute or two and all of that.
Yeah, but you know, every 5 minutes, Nyana, we
Yeah,
always steal
yeah,
some
and like,
moments. And I'm like, oh, the space is not, conducive. It's not
Yeah.
allowing for,
Yeah.
because you and I always connect on the higher power.
We do, we
Yeah,
do.
love it.
So I think as we start, there's always the pronouns thing,
Yes.
right? Which one do you subscribe by, or
None.
None.
Yeah.
Why is that though?
Because for me is I do not want to be defined by my sexuality. The way that I've navigated my teens, 20s, 30s, now in my early 40s,
Yeah.
I think the real me, the genius, the godly in me, the talent, the creative, the
Yeah.
gifted, the purpose-driven beingness of myself needs to come first.
Yeah.
And then the sexuality secondary or even just there. I don't want to be defined by my sexuality or these gorgeous creatures that we call man, that we love and adore and love and hate.
It's interesting that you put it that way. So you make mention of navigating, your early life, your 20s,
Tough.
And probably even your teens,
Of course.
right? What was that like as a queer person?
Growing up in Lesotho, I remember, being moved unplannedly because like 1 minute I'm waking up in Lesotho, rural areas, on the Leribe district, not far from Fixback,
Okay.
Kgomotso, ko Lesotho. And because my parents separated when I was about to turn 5. And then being moved to my grandmother and also my mom's older sister's house, and eventually moving to Lesotho. It was very challenging. 1 minute you have both of your parents, the next you don't see any sight of them. They don't visit, they don't write letters. And I'm thrown into this rural area where there are no toys to play with. And these concrete streets, I have to navigate myself in the rural areas where, I'm thrown into, an environment with these strong boys, who look after cattle and who play rough. I couldn't fit in. I was always soft. And being raised by my mom's younger sisters, my mom, her aunts, my grandmother. So it was very challenging. And within that group of those, young boys, rural boys, I will find someone that I connect with, and someone that will treat me, always treat me slightly better or protect me or shield me. Because some years I wouldn't even go to school because of money and no mom, no dad. So I found myself looking after cattle and sheeps, and then the payment will be then the milk, pofu and mili mili, so that I can be able to help to support my family.
Sure.
So it was very challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the lovely thing is you didn't let the circumstances hold you back.
Yeah. I think it's all thanks to my grandmother. Like, she was a prayer warrior. She owned the church. On Thursday, I'll be, making tea for her women's prayer club. And also, growing up with my older brother and my cousin, who were like 3 years older than me, she will let them do the boy chores and then cleaning, cooking, making tea.
She could see this one is different.
Yeah,
This one is special.
exactly. I totally blame her. But, navigating all of that, reading the Bible, starting choruses at her church, and taking care of her patients, because we also used to have this big house where, people from different regions, bakulang ka moya, who had those spiritual and mental health issues. My grandmother was always able to heal them. So I would also look after them. And that really created a strong connection with a higher power. I can call it higher power, but back then I will say, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, the religious aspect of my being.
Yeah. And what role do you feel that church aspect and being in that kind of an environment played in your life in building the KgoMogul that we see today?
It played a major role because it became my substance, my ground, my anchor, the rock that I could lean on, because I could be in the most chaotic situation, but the Holy Spirit always leads and guides me into prayer and to calm myself. I can always know that I belong in this unseen force and being that is God. And that has always, shielded and guided me. It gave me a sense of protection. Because people around you can let you down. People, and also still struggling with abandonment issues and attachment issues as well, attention seeking. When you know that there's this invisible power and connection with a higher power that no one can take away from you, then that literally gets you through any hurdle, any tremor, any curveball that is thrown at you.
Then, I mean, from the rural area to the church environment, getting into the modeling space, it sounds very like worlds apart. How did you get there?
Here's the connection.
Yeah.
My grandmother's extra protection around me and allowing me to do all these girly chores, and like I wouldn't even do garden, I wouldn't even like carry heavy stuff, and
Like
maybe
stuff that you're comfortable doing.
exactly. So I started gravitating towards girls. I played a lot with girls. Haradiku, Kgomotso. All my friends were girls. Netball with girls, peanuts, amokopu, khati, all these fun play-filled
Those
activities.
are fun traditional games, hey?
Exactly. I used to
like
love them.
when you say them, you're taking me back there.
Yeah.
And those are fun traditional games.
So all my female friends, the neighbors, we would go to church, to school together. I was always the outcast in the male spaces, or the one who plays with girls. And also the looks and the softness kind of really fitted in. I love my girls. Like they are my rocks, and some of them I still talk to them even now.
Amazing.
Yeah. So the modeling aspect came through that, and because I could like play netball better than girls, I could jump higher. Remember in some of the games when we were playing against other schools, we'll just throw a little bit of a skit. And then later on, when our school wins or when our village wins, we're like, now that's a boy. So the modeling aspect came through that, because after primary, I moved to KwaZulu-Natal, the northern side of Richards Bay and Pangeni. Being, partially adopted by my mom's older sister. Yeah, so that's when I started, following modeling. I'll just literally get so high when I see your Sam Pororos, your Musima Imani, because he used to be a model. Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But Ephraim Mulingwana, when I see them, in the window posters of Bosel's house, BG's, And when I see them in these products, I was like, I would literally really want to do this.
Yeah.
I'll get so high and be so invested in it. And also entertainment industry, the showbiz. So I started, saving 2 rands from my 10 rands daily allowance from my lunch money. And then at the end of the week, Next or Move magazine and Drum magazine will come out.
Yeah.
And then I'll, buy those issues and started being so invested in, the editorial spread of the magazines.
Yeah.
I'll cut those out and then cover my exercise books with them. And then I'll start having them in the corner of my room, because I used to share my room with my 2 cousins, which are boys as well. So in my corner, I'll just have these pictures of models. And I started, reading and researching and watching modeling related shows. And then by grade 10, started participating in all the Richards Bay and Mpangeni fashion shows and beauty pageants, and also started organizing fashion shows, beauty pageants in my school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how modeling came about, because it used to be also be an escape. Yeah.
So participating in those, take me through the feeling you'll get, winning, losing, even the ones that you were organizing, the successes and the failures of them, if there were any failures. What was it like going through that space at the time, especially knowing, where your passion, because I believe at that time you could see where your passion is.
For me, it was more of a sense of belonging, because my aunt was a single mother raising me and her sons, and she was a taxi driver. So she would leave home at 4 in the morning and come back at 7 p.m.
Sure.
Super tired.
That's literally the whole day.
Yeah. So moving from Lesotho, being raised by my grandmother, was also juggling, my 2 brothers and my cousins and myself. And the entire day she's not around. She's out there hustling so that we have food. And then the same thing, I moved back to South Africa. It's the same environment in terms of present parent or a guardian, So I had a lot of time in my hands, writing and taping songs, getting cassette and CDs, and playing with girls, and being so invested. I watched a whole lot of television and reading magazines and books a lot. So then having that kind of fun activity that will also make me feel like I belong somewhere in the stage, because the stage gives you that attention. It doesn't last longer. It's short-lived. But it gave me that sense of belonging. It became my safe space. And I felt like, oh, I can actually shine here beyond my girls' circle. Because then from, in Lesotho and KZN, when it comes to boys and masculinity and all of that, I was always ridiculed, always being beaten up, always being ostracized. So modeling really gave me that space of belonging, and also connecting with other male models. It's like, oh, guys can also do this, this is interesting,
Sure. So now, you how did you then move from being the model, being in front, and now scouting and coaching?
Yes.
Models and even the pageantry girls.
Yes. Funny story. Rejection galore. So from grade 10 to grade 12, superstar model in a sort of KZN area, Richards Bay, Mpangeni, and some of regions in Durban. And being a star there, I remember getting my first paycheck, 150, getting 150 from a fashion show. As a grade 11 student, or as a matriculate, that's a lot of money back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then completing matric, moving to Joburg. When I get to Joburg, it's a different ball game. I was rejected by 4 agencies.
Oof.
Only because of one thing. There was nothing wrong with my body. There was nothing wrong with my face commercially.
Yeah.
The height.
No way.
I remember the first agency, I think they saw my pictures. I, sent through the pictures, and then they thought I was tall because
Okay.
they didn't see it, like it was close-ups.
So how tall should you be to qualify?
182, that's the minimum,
Yeah.
or 1'8" as a male model. And I'm
that's-
going to
yeah.
explain in detail a little bit further. So I get to the first agency, it's like, no, you can't be a model. You're not what we're looking for. Or second agency, we are full. I remember meeting this woman called Miriam. She was the head booker at Gappa Models. I remember going to Gappa agency, and I'm like, I want to be a model. All these agencies are rejecting me. Even that boss was like, no, you can't be a model. No, you don't have what it takes. And then I leave there distraught, like very heartbroken, I was so sad.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine.
then as I was walking down the stairs crying, and this woman just patted me on the shoulder. It's like, let me explain to you why these agencies are rejecting you. Clothes, in terms of fashion and modeling, and also visibility, clothes look more visible, more appealing on tall people than short people. You are 1'7", and for you to become a fashion model, either on print, editorials, and magazines, and print ad campaigns for stores and billboards, and fashion shows, you need to be tall. So there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that you are not tall enough.
Yeah.
That's when I understood it. And I went back home. I couldn't understand it. My 20-year-old mind was like,
Yeah,
what is
like
this? And
yeah. Why? I mean,
then I
it's so sad.
started researching, went to the library. We didn't have Google. Went to the library. And then through VCR, started recording modeling-related fashion shows and modeling-related reality TV shows. And then I started researching. I'm like, oh, this is very interesting. And then I was like, okay, how do I still be in this industry? How can I be in this industry? Because the passion wouldn't go away.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
And then being the spiritual person that I am, I believe in signs and hunches. Like I could be walking down the street, I could be at the gym, I could be somewhere or just sleeping. I get signs and hunches. And I was like, oh my God, God. Then I prayed this very heartfelt prayer. I was like, God, please, please, is there a way, is there an opportunity where I can actually teach these tall people how I would have modeled had you given me that height, had you given me that 1.82 meters height. Then I went to a broadcasting school. I was supposed to do a TV, audio communication, script writing, TV presenting, and also just communicating on camera and through radio and television.
Yeah.
My diploma was meant to be two years. I did first year, second year I dropped out. Got the job at the casting agency where I'm supposed to be booking extras. I remember we worked on Friends Like These, meeting DJ Spoof for the first time. Beam Zege, so sweet and gracious. And then from working for that casting agency, it's like, no, I'm still crazy about modeling, man. There's got to be a way.
It was not really giving you what you needed to get.
Yeah. And then a friend of mine was like, oh, there's this modeling agency I know in Ganji Square. Go apply for a job there. Show them some of your moves or some of your pictures and also some of VCR videos of you modeling in Richards Bay and Bangini in KZN. Went to that agency, they gave me my first job.
Wow.
I was so excited. Oh, a kid in a candy store, Tolong. I was like, oh my God.
Like finally,
Yeah.
finally it's happening.
In Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's you.
And seeing all these models, Z cards, portfolios on the walls, some of the models that I recognize, some of the models that I even had the cutout pictures of. I was like, I'm in heaven here. First month booking, being a runner, doing those bookings, and every time models come, just like, oh no, walk like this, pose like this, And I did that in high school also around Isikawini and Bangini.
Yeah.
So it was already in me, and also organizing pageants in my high school.
Yeah.
So I started showing them, and my boss was like, "No, man, there's something about you. Take me through, what really goes on in your mind." It's like, "No, this is how I model. This is how they should model. I think we should do 1, 2, 3." It's like, okay, start organizing photo shoots, start teaching them how to walk and all of that. So 2005, sorry, 10 years back. A best friend of mine was like, "Listen, Kgomotso, we are tired of you and your obsession with this modeling industry. And also, you're doing so much for that agency, and they don't even appreciate you. 2.5 salary a month." I was like, what, 21? It wasn't bad, because I was still staying with my dad, Goval. Yeah, so
my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. Turn the lights up now, welcome to the show. I ain't never
Are you a musician?
my eyes on the prize until I die. I'm gonna rise like
The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour.
we work for a fall in line. We gon' give it all until the end, until the end of time.
It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply, and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
a friend of mine's like, "Listen, I've actually have taxi money. Let's go to Pretoria, go CPRO, and register your own modeling agency." I was like, "I don't even have an MBA, dude. Like, I've never ran a business. Like, how is this gonna work?" So my former colleague, Linda Nyati, who I was working with at Lisedi Casting, at the casting agency, was like also in support of this. And we registered the business. I was so excited. I was so nervous at the same time. And Mom Sandra, that is Linda Nyati's mom, was like, "Listen, boys, I see your passion. I believe in your dream. In my office in downtown Josie, I'm going to give you just this portion of the office. And then,
nice.
and then you run your portion of the modeling business up until you raised enough money to have your own office." So I'm always going to be so grateful to the late Sandra Nyati for, believing in me and Linda's vision, as well as Siyabonga Mdluli. So we ran the agency. 6 months later, we got our own office.
Nice. It's definitely been a journey. Hey,
It's been a very inspiring journey.
And I mean, now you're at a point where some of the outstanding things is the fact that you won, or rather your modeling academy won KS.
Yes.
What is it? A Republic of South Africa Modeling School of the Year.
Yes. Like,
What does that mean? I mean,
it's a nice validation in the modeling industry.
It's a country-wide
award, yes, award recognition, yes. And there aren't a lot of modeling award shows, or award shows that really honors the hard workers and also the image makers and people that work behind the scenes. If there's one thing that I could change about or add into this industry, it will be an award show, a platform that really honors the people that are behind this glitz and glam. Like your talent coaches, acting coaches, they never, oftentimes don't get the light. It's always the actors that are shining, the producers, the behind the scenes people, actually people that magnify and coach and groom talent. It would be amazing to have such a platform, because we work so hard. Yeah, and some end up not having the opportunities that I have in front of camera and in media. They end up behind the scenes. And they get little recognition.
Sure.
Yeah.
And some of the highlights that, when you look at your entire career,
Yes.
Particularly on the talent that you have coached,
Yes.
what would those be?
The highlight will be, my goodness, this young boy, raised in South Africa, but Congolese. His name is Dave Kabamba. I remember, because I used to have an office in Gandhi Square that is able to overlook the window at Gandhi Square bus station.
Okay.
So I could literally sit there, especially after school, and start looking at, different talents commercially and fashion. So I was so obsessed with this young boy. I think at that time he was 16 years old or 17, about to turn 18. So tall, like a long facial bone structure, dark, lean looking.
So he was basically fitting the profile of a supermodel. if I should
Exactly,
put it that
because
way.
my thing is, as much as conventional modeling makes us a lot of money, but I'm literally, to this day, even Kga's Modeling Academy, when I coach the models, I coach them for fashion, because I'm always thinking Vogue, I'm always thinking high-end editorial, Balmain, Paris, New York, Milan, and fashion shows. So the caliber of models, it's usually high fashion. So David Gabamba really fitted that description. But then, being a spiritually enlightened person that I am, every time after school, I'll just walk past him. And the higher power of the Holy Spirit will say, don't talk to him today. So for the entire 4 months, I will literally suss him out. And I will pray for the sign to actually go to him and talk to him. So 4 to 5 months later, I got the courage. I spoke to him. I was like, hi, I run a modeling agency in that building. I'd like you to come and check it out. And, because I've been checking you out in the last 5 months, and I believe you got to be the best international or the highest paid male supermodel. It's like, oh, really? Okay, cool. With Joburg buildings and scams and all of that, I'm a little bit skeptical, but I'm going to take a leap of faith and go with you. Mind you, he's like very tall, and I'm like this size. And then he follows me. We go there. He sees the office, and then I just literally let him into the corridor. I'm like, no, show me your walk. Walk up and down. Let me suss you out. Okay. It's like, okay, I'm gonna coach you. It's like, no, I've never done this before. So he gave me a shot. The highlight was him moving to a bigger white-owned agency, Ice Models, because when there's still racism in the modeling industry to this day, because advertising and modeling space is white-owned, and it's still difficult for black-owned modeling agencies to get the biggest jobs, from your print adverts to your biggest commercials.
2023 still.
It's 2023
It's the same
still,
thing.
yes. So 2015, because I was not getting jobs, I was not making profit, I was getting angry, and I was getting all crazy about the injustice and racial inequality in the industry. I decided to, let me turn this agency into a modeling school, because that's where my strength is. And the why I actually got into the modeling industry was to teach people how I would have modeled if I was tall, So the highlight was, seeing Dave Gabamba outside Markham's. I remember looking at this big window and these ginormous posters of him. And 5 years before that, lunchtime from Gandhi Square to Carlton Center, I will go outside these clothing stores and pray to God that one day any of these black models from rural areas and these models in town, I would pray that one day one of them is going to be in this window posters. And that dream came true in 2015. Market Street, Markham's. I fell on my knee. And I even forgot that that white-owned agency didn't pay me the scouting fee. And whatever money that Dave Gabamba got from those billboards and that campaign, I never even got a cent. I did not care. For me, it was a winning moment, because how do you have such a silly dream and you see it physically manifesting? I got the confirmation that there's more to me than my background. Who raised me, who abandoned me, who believed in me, who didn't believe in me. That's why I got the courage and the strength.
Amazing.
The following year, one of the girls that I coached in 2013 through Miss Mpumalanga Beauty Pageant, she won Miss Mpumalanga 2013 13. Her name is Nkosi Kunene.
Oh.
Yeah, and year 2015, early 2016, I was watching, I remember being at the salon downstairs from my modeling academy office, hanging out with the guys. I think I was twisting my dreads there. I'm watching the pageant. She's in the top 12. Final moment. Miss South Africa is Nkosi Kunene.
Wow.
What? Ooh. Oh, I still get chills even now. Fast forward during her reign, she's scheduled to compete in Miss World and Miss Universe. Guess who she calls?
So she remembered.
Guess who she calls for training? Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be so grateful and thankful to Nkosi, because 2014, I lost everything. My house, my car. I had a salon, beauty salon. I had a modeling agency. All the models were poached by white-owned agencies. Went to hospital, mental nervous breakdown. Lost everything, moved back to my grandmother's house in the Val. 2015 to 2017. Broke. Friends, everyone gone. Business partners.
Yeah.
What was my saving grace? The only thing that I knew how to do better, the only thing that gave me sense of belonging, the gift, the talent of coaching supermodels. So losing everything, but I still had the lease at High Court Building in Gandhi Square, my modeling agency. And I could still scrounge some money, selling half of the assets and things I had. I could still pay the 2.5 rand. And I would wake up every morning because home Val was far.
Yeah.
And some of the projects will finish late.
Okay.
I'll sleep in that office. Behind the couch, I'll hide the pillows and the blankets. And there was a gym company down the road from Gandhi Square. I will shower there. And then go to these shops, buy magwinya, bologna. Lunchtime, I have scopas, my keep, disco pups, for the 5 rand ones. Supportive friends will come. And when I went out, even some of the models that I was recruiting and some of potential customers wouldn't even see, wouldn't even tell. So those are some of the highlights. And in the middle of that, seeing Dave Gabamba blossoming from your GQ, from your leading clothing brands, Truworths, Markham, seeing him being this face and him publicly writing. I remember he did this Afternoon Express interview where Jeannie D asked him, how did you become a model? Guess who he mentioned? How he got scouted. All of this is happening. I'm broke, taking taxi 1 hour, 30 minutes taxi from Sebokeng to Joburg because work finishes late and I was in between other programs and projects. Sleeping in the office, getting that public glory while I'm fighting silent battles. Nkosi pulling me in the middle of a rain, asking me to coach her for Miss World and Miss Universe. Sunday World coming through, Sowetan Sunday World, coming through, making that front page, and then coaches Miss South Africa.
Wow.
That was a breakthrough I needed. Clients started coming. The academy grew. And you know, sometimes when you let go and let God, what's yours always chases you. 2017, Revlon comes. We don't want models from agencies. We want them directly from your school. And we believe you're the perfect person because you're connected to township rural models, these big own white agencies. The idea of black models, it's your East African high-end cheekbone type of models that won't work with our market. And we still struggle to find, suitable South African models that we can advertise to the ordinary South African market. So you're the guy. So they were looking for females and males who are gonna form part of their campaign called I Define Myself. As we're busy casting and all of that, and Shannon Weber, who was the marketing director of the agency that was handling Revlon campaign, was like, one of our key, we went through a lot of males. And she was like, oh, damn, we haven't found our lead guy. We've got 2 guys that can support the lead guy, but we haven't found our guy. And then Shannon goes like, oh, no, wait, look around. We actually have found our guy. I'm like, wait, I don't see. He's like, no, he's talking right back at me. I was like, what? 2017, I became the Revlon brand ambassador. Revlon hair.
Yeah.
A boy, rural area, who got rejected, was told that he can never be a model. I remember the first agency I went to. You'll never be on a billboard. You'll never be any brand ambassador or a face of any leading, recognizable and reputable brand. Forget about this. Go do something. Go be a dancer or something. 2017, that came true. I was like, what? God, is this a joke? I remember a best friend of mine who's based in London sending me a screenshot. It's like, my friend, I'm walking into the supermarket, I'm going to the hair aisle, and there's your face splashed across London. Going to clicks.
How does that make you feel at that point?
It's validation that no matter how silly, no matter who does not believe in your dreams, no matter the environment or the circumstances or whatever family background you come from, your dreams are valid. It may not make sense in the human eye, or it may not make sense to other people. But also, I don't blame those people because their dream was never given to them too long. When God called you to that dream, it was never a conference call.
Yeah, it was individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then also, what's interesting about you is, I'm now, as you speak, thinking about your Instagram page, right?
Yeah.
So well curated, professionally.
Thank you,
curated,
Beyonce.
All right. No, a brilliant work, I must say. And to me, then it says you understand the importance of branding.
Oh yeah.
You know how to maintain the brand, and why is that important, particularly in the industry, of course.
Because I'll tie it back into modeling with the advertising. All the models that are supplied to clients, they need to embody and envision the brand and what they are trying to advertise. And we're in the showbiz.
Yeah.
It's models or brands. Brand ambassadors are actually canvases, but you need to embody and exude what that client is looking for. So that is very important. And also to align yourself and to prepare yourself. Despite the enormous talent, the God-given talent that you have, you still need to package yourself according to the market. Be marketable. And also be bankable. I call it bankable. Thank you, Tyra. Tyra Pex, one of my iconic modeling, role models. So it's branding is very important, guys. Honestly, because people wanna work with people that feel like they best represent the vision or the ideas that they're trying to put out into the market. Yeah.
So in wrapping up our discussion, I want you to give an advice to a young queer person that loves modeling. And in this case, the reason I'm really asking for that advice is because I personally grew up, I've been feminine my whole life.
Yes.
and I followed people like Naomi Campbell,
Tyson
Claudia
Banks.
Schiffer,
Yes.
you know, Tara Banks, and so many. And I was very much interested from the women's side modeling than the men's side.
The men's side, yes.
And I entered beauty pageants as well. I mean, I used to, you know, participate girls only beauty pageants, and I beat them. I remember in one of the big soccer clubs that I'll not mention.
Yes.
I became the first princess because they actually saw at that point that
Yes,
actually you get what I mean. So it was a
Yes.
matter of, if this person wins, how do we handle this, right?
Yes.
But now times are different. We have transgender women, you know, entering in South Africa. So it becomes a bit of a challenge for a person that is growing up to say, how do I handle this? Which way do I go? How do I even
fit into the market?
fit
How do I
into
make
the-
myself bankable?
Exactly, you know, preparing for the future. Yeah.
You know, I'm literally, I'm gonna have to be a devil's advocate on this one. Honestly, it's nothing personal when it comes to advertising and modeling. It's the industry is trying to be inclusive. I've seen with, I think last year's SA Fashion Week, androgynous and transgender models walking down the ramp and all of that. But when it comes to advertising, honestly, it's still, you know, very sad for the queer community, because in terms of clothing,
Need a photo studio? The Dreamstream Photo Studio includes a 2.7-meter PVC backdrop in black and white and is available for only 115 rands per hour. You can also rent a Canon R6 and lights. All rentals are for studio use only. Terms and conditions apply. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za.
Thank you, Ben, for coming out tonight. My name is Son of Augustine.
the marketing or the advertising industry advertises for men and women. And when it comes to editorials, photography, or either video, the message is, it needs to be that direct.
Yeah.
We're selling to men, we're
And
selling to women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up until then we have clothes or the market that only caters for queer community. Then those will be chances. But a lot of fashion designers, a lot of commercial directors are slowly adapting. Yeah. But it's nothing personal as well.
It makes sense. I'm just thinking from a point of a person that wants to get into the modeling space, but they're queer. How do they prepare themselves? I love the fact that you're making us aware of
it's nothing
what's the
personal. We're
reality
not
out
attacking
there.
you.
You know,
Yeah, because the
So
reality.
you should be prepared for that.
You should definitely be prepared for that, and also find a suitable agency or a modeling academy that can be able to, that caters for your look or your sexuality or your appearance.
Okay.
Because honestly, I'm fully gay and proud.
Yeah.
But when it comes to business, honestly, like, I don't mess around. I also have to respect my clients' briefs and also what they need, my clients' needs. And with my modeling agency, honestly, like, or modeling academy, because it also has an agency division, but it's 70% academy.
Yeah.
Even the students that I'm allowing, or the students that are on my booking radar, it has to be male and female. I don't have jobs or opportunities for openly queer models or transgender women. I hardly get those jobs, you know what I mean? And maybe they might say, oh no, you're such a hypocrite, you're openly gay, but you don't open up space. That's not my responsibility. And when God gave me the vision to be a model coach, or someone that discovers and coaches talents of fashion models, male or female, my sexuality or the gay community was never part of the agenda, you know. So my other advice will be, if it's a male, I always say, when you're on the ramp, the clothes designers are going to put you on, or the brand, that, for instance, male-orientated brands, they will want a meal. So you need to, for the job to get done, because physically you look like a gorgeous man that can be able to sell that liquor, that deodorant, and that latest jean. You know what I mean? So switch it off and then go be queer with your people. Because the market, it's not you, it's not us. It's the market that is not open to fully queer. And some adverts, some campaigns are open, but it's literally a drop in the ocean.
Yeah. And for KgoMogul,
Yes.
in 60 seconds, what does the future look like?
My own reality TV show where I am traveling across Africa, South Africa, rural areas, finding that next top model, that next Dave Gabamba, and also kudos to Dinetric and Kgomotso opening doors for male models, a black South African model working for Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga. So I literally want to get the next international models. So the reality TV show will be able to uncover all of that. And also what goes on at KS Modeling Academy. How do I coach these models? Who has what it takes to be a commercial or a fashion model? 5 years in radio, so amazing. Radio is so therapeutic. And also my brand is all about magnifying and launching people's dreams. Either I'm on stage choreographing fashion shows and beauty pageants, either I am in the modeling studio coaching the models. Radio also gives me that platform because I interview Black upcoming entrepreneurs. I interview a lot of musicians. I play their music. And on the fashion space, as a fashion show producer, choreographer, in the last 15 years, I've been working with a lot of designers, upcoming designers who are now top designers. And also being invited at these prestigious VVVIP red carpet events where you're always slaying. I always make sure that I wear South African fashion designers, either upcoming or the mainstream ones. Like right now, from head to toe, I'm rocking Oli Designs by Smuyanta. So wherever I am, I'm carrying someone's dream, I'm magnifying it. I see myself as a bridge, a light, and a magnifier, an opportunity creator for other people's dreams, because all our dreams are valid.
Kgomotso, thank you so much for coming, for sharing your story, also for inspiring someone out there.
Thank you so
because
much.
I believe that as people watch, there will be somebody that is learning, there will be somebody that gets inspired.
Super.
And we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for such a
We'll
platform.
be following and watching.
I can't wait. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
That is Kgomotso Seboko sharing with us his journey. I mean, it is the modeling journey that he went through. And I think what I love about it is that we get to know the backside, behind the scenes side, and also being in front of the camera, lights, all of that. So it is up to you that what does it mean to you? Do you want to be a fashion model? Do you want to be a ramp model? You've heard it from Kgomotso. And of course, you can get Kgomotso on Bogat FM. It is online. Check it there. That's where you can hear Kgomotso's show 11 to
1 p.m.
11 to 1 p.m. Weekdays, right?
Yes, weekdays, definitely.
That's where you can get Kgomotso. So wrapping up the show or this episode, as per usual, we look at the myths and the facts. So today's myth is having LGBT people in your circle or workplace will make you LGBT, right? So that's what other people tend to think. And the sad thing, it's a myth. The fact is that liking or even loving someone is not contagious at all. It's not. And spending time with people who are queer does not make you in any form or shape a queer person at all, because it's not contagious. And I've got straight friends that I grew up with that love me so much, that embrace me so much, that are not even worried who says what when I'm around them, because they know who they are and they're comfortable with who they are. So it's as simple as that. Yeah. So that's how we're wrapping up this episode. Do stay tuned for another one that is coming next. Remember, we can still continue the discussions. I am Tolo_Mdaung on Twitter. So tweet your comment, tweet your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going. Until the next episode, keep well.